So you want to be an expat. It really is such an exciting adventure to take in life, and will allow you to discover new cultures, have a great adventure, and also learn a lot about yourself, because you're going to be putting yourself into situations that might make you feel uncomfortable, and they really make you grow as a person. And as amazing as expat life is, it does have its own set of challenges. And this episode of What's Going On in Venice is all about a brief story about my journey into expat life, and then sharing with you also the top 5 mistakes that I made the first 3 years as an expat. And my hope is that if I share these with you, maybe they'll help you learn from my experiences, my mistakes, and you won't make them also. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will be catching you around Venice today. I don't know if I ever really thought about expat and being an expat in my life up until 2011, to be honest, when I actually first went abroad to study architecture. And funny enough, I did plan as a young 13-year-old girl that I wanted to study architecture. I wanted to go abroad, study architecture in Italy, and then I also wanted to fall in love with an Italian mob guy, mob boss, and then also become an Italian mob princess. Funny enough, some of those things did come true. I'm gonna leave it to your imagination for now, and I'll fill you in on the bits and pieces as we go. So really, my obsession with all things Italian started at a very young age. I'd have to guess mostly because my grandmother, Diana Cole, was born in Milan, Italy. And I just thought she was the coolest woman ever. So classy, independent, knew what she wanted, and most of the time she got what she wanted also. I seriously loved Godfather, Scarface, and really any mafia-related film or TV series. And it was an extra bonus if there was Al Pacino in them, because I would say that I had a girl crush on Al Pacino, and for the most part I still do. I don't know if it was his cool, sleek, simple name, Al Pacino, or if it was the roles he played in Godfather and Scarface as like an intelligent, badass business mafia mob guy that excited me about him so much. But anyways, adore him and anything related to Italy and Italian mafia. So my expat journey really started around 2011 when I had the opportunity to fulfill my 13-year-old girl dreams of studying abroad in Italy. This was actually when I met Jacopo, my now fiance, and the story goes that I met him in his bar. How convenient, I thought. A cute boy, and drinks for free all summer was kind of my thinking. And don't worry, he had his own thoughts about me being American and getting stuff from me too, so we were kind of on the same page. But anyways, he showed me an absolutely amazing summer, like one of the best. I still smile often thinking about all the things we did together that summer and all of the adventure and culture shock, really. He showed me an absolutely amazing summer that year. Truly showed me the best of Venice, and took me around, gave me a real Venetian treat, and I honestly didn't think anything too of it. I tried to keep my distance emotionally because I didn't want to get my heart broken, and he was actually the one that wrote me a message one day saying that he loved me, or he wrote saying that he thought he loved me. I was sitting in the airport about to leave Europe for good, and he wrote me this message, and I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't he tell me when we saw each other? But he said he was scared and whatnot. But anyways, that was pretty much when the relationship became something serious, and so we began our 2-year long distance relationship, Skyping a hell of a lot and also flying a lot. I calculated that roughly we had 17 flights back and forth in between us. I remember one time I went to Italy just for a long weekend for my birthday. I mean, who wouldn't, right? It it was very exciting, and like those moments of waiting to see each other, the build up, also sexually, emotionally. It was thrilling, to say the least. That was our 2-year long distance relationship, kind of across the Atlantic Ocean. Still brings laughter to me when I think about it now. By the time graduation came around in the summer of 2013, I had actually discovered a process called juris sanguini, translated into right of blood, which means since my grandmother was born in Italy, I was actually an Italian citizen from birthright. I just had never claimed my citizenship. So through this process, you show documentation of your lineage. So I had to go back and show my grandmother's documentation of where she was born, when she got married, all of these things. And really cool thing, because now I have 2 passports. But anyways, I took this kind of as the universe telling me that it was meant to be. If there was such a process that I was able to get to citizenship, that why not take that opportunity and run with it, right? So basically I sold everything I owned, packed it all up, and I moved across the ocean for love. Funny thing is that I actually hadn't done the process yet, because in Miami it was going to take like 2 years, like wait just to get like an appointment to talk about it. So I decided to do it in Venice, thinking that it was a smaller city and would be done faster. Very wrong thinking, because Italian bureaucracy was something that taught me a lot of patience in the end. And anyways, this brings me kind of to my first mistake that I made as an expat, and excited to dive into these with you, and let's go. I'm not going to say that getting my citizenship was an easy process in the end, actually, because I didn't do it in the States. I just moved to Italy thinking that I could go there and get it done nice and easy, but that wasn't really the case. And this is actually leading me up to the first mistake that I want to share with you that I did. Not being financially independent. I bring this up because I didn't have citizenship for the first 2 years of living here, so in theory I couldn't really work, make an income, job, whatnot. So I depended highly on Jacopo for many things, and bless his heart, he's never made me feel guilty about it. He's been very accepting, but it was more a problem for me. In the beginning I accepted it because I was like, no, you're in Venice, it's okay, like you're learning how to live here and whatnot. And would I change it if I went back? I don't know, maybe not, because I don't like to wait, and I'll get to the reason why more in the end. But definitely it did put a downer on my life a little bit. After a couple years of that, I just couldn't stand it anymore, and there were points in my life where I thought maybe I shouldn't be in Venice and I should move back to the States, be responsible, get a job, pay off my school debt, not depend on a man, all these things always swarming through my head. Number 2 mistake that I want to share is not pushing myself enough to learn Italian. Unfortunately, I think a lot of that ties down to just me being scared and embarrassed to try to speak Italian and make mistakes and sound stupid maybe, which is really something to do with, self-doubt and self-confidence and whatnot, and really allowing other people's opinions of me to stop me from trying to learn something new. If I look back on that, that's definitely something I would like to change. For sure, if I went back, I would definitely push myself more. Now I'm very comfortable with Italian, but I still want to learn more, and I push myself. Even if I make millions of mistakes, I still speak Italian nowadays, and I got over that finally. And the biggest reason that this was a problem was it actually limited my ability to speak to people and create emotional connections with others, and just, in groups I struggled a lot too, because if they were all having conversation, I would sit there in silence, and it was kind of sad actually, and even thinking about that is sad because that was a while ago, but this kind of also leads me up to my number 3 mistake that I made, which is not having my own friends in life at the beginning. I literally followed Jacopo everywhere at the beginning. I didn't know the language, I didn't know anyone, and he knew everyone, and he was so friendly and accepting, and all of his friends and family were so accepting, so it was just kind of easy. I hung out with his friends, I did what they did, and this is probably one of my biggest regrets out of everything, because I kind of lost myself in this way, because I love his friends, I love his family, nothing wrong with him. It's just, sometimes I would do things that, you know, weren't actually things that I would like to do, just because I wanted to fit in or feel like I had friends here, or whatever the reason was. It wasn't healthy, and it also put strains on our relationship because we never really had alone time, or if he did want alone time, it would freak me out. Because he wanted to go hang with the guys, and I would get jealous because I had no one to go hang out on my own. So definitely recommend pushing yourself more than I did out of your comfort zone and going to make your own friends and your life abroad. And this is, you know, for sure for people that have a relationship abroad or whatnot, but also for people that don't. Don't be scared to go out there and put yourself out there and make friends and be rejected, because it's going to happen sometimes. You're in a new culture, different people, and it's okay. It's part of the growth and the beauty of being an expat. You will be stronger after this experience. My number 4 mistake is comparing my old life to my new life. That stubborn American mentality, and thinking that in America everything works better or right, or I'm sure many people think about their own country in their own way, and when they go abroad, if something's different and maybe they think it worked better in their previous country, they criticize and judge and think about their you know, born country or their mother country, whatever you want to call it. But I did this quite a bit. I compared a lot of things, especially because bureaucracy in Italy is quite slow, especially when I was getting my citizenship. It was quite a journey, and I regret, you know, having that stuck mentality at the beginning, and I've been dealing that with a lot in the past 2 years. I've done a lot of my own growth and whatnot, and I kind of accept many things now that I thought, you know, were a certain way and they had to be a certain way, but it's opening my mindset to this idea that, you know, it's okay to be different or do things differently, and no one way is right. Has helped me accept many, many different people and cultures in general. Also helps me while traveling, keeps me calmer and everything. And my number 5 regret or mistake is taking friends back in the States, friends and family, for granted, and not connecting with them enough, and not being there for their successes in life, their birthdays, their weddings, their babies. And this does make me a bit sad. And it's definitely my fault because I chose to live so far abroad, but I definitely could have done something more to keep in contact with them. As I get older, I realize that I do love my family very much, even though I've always been trying to run away from them. I do love them very much, and I do miss them. And it does hurt sometimes when I see them doing things together and I'm not there. But again, it's my choice, my decision to live abroad, and I still wouldn't change it for anything because I love living abroad. But I would make sure that those first 3 years that I didn't isolate myself away from them so much, and that I connect with them more often, which I am trying to do. I get better at it. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm bad. I've never been someone that's been super, like, talk on the phone just to chit chat. It's not my style, but I've been working on it because I know it's important, and I do make an effort to go back for certain weddings and events in their life, because originally, if I had to go to the States or travel somewhere new in Europe, I would have chosen Europe just because it was also brand new. But yeah, those are my main mistakes that I made in the first 3 years of expat life. Now back to the more fun scenery, now that I shared with you my 5 top mistakes. as an expat at the beginning. And I realize that I use the word regret sometimes, but I don't think it's the correct word. I like to call them mistakes and lessons learned, because I don't regret them. I'm happy that I experienced them and was able to learn from them over the years and help me become who the person I am today. Really, it's done a lot for my mindset, personality, strengths, weaknesses, a little bit of all the above. It's really helped me put perspective of important things maybe where I lacked before. It's also helped me figure out like who I am in life and who I want to be, instead of allowing people to influence me because I want to be liked or because I want to fit in. I know who I want to be. I want to be Italian American, not American and not just Italian, but I want to find the midway between both of those cultures and lives and whatnot, and that's who I am. I'm Italian American now. I've also learned to really focus on things that make me happy in life and do the things that make me happy, and again, say no to certain circumstances or things or activities that maybe would not make me as happy. So I focus on sports more than I used to. Like, can you imagine me not doing sports? Well, I didn't do sports the first 3 years because I didn't really know anyone that did them, and it wasn't what everyone around me did, so I just wanted to fit in, and I stopped doing the things that I loved, which I think is kind of a shame in the end. And even more, I feel like I've learned to communicate on another level. Yes, in Italian, but also just in English in general. And what I mean is, I used to be kind of like an angry person and would show you my wrath if I got mad at you, didn't know how to express myself, had too many emotions bottled up. And I really learned to calm down and express myself in better ways than I used to. I was really good at tearing people down before, and I'm sure people that know me have seen my wrath before, to the point where like I have the really scary face and almost to the point of shaking. But again, pushing myself out of my comfort zone and learning who I am, learning what I do like and don't like, has really helped me overcome some of those emotional blockages or mental mindset blockages, whatever you want to call them. Honestly, I could probably go on and on and on about how much I've grown over these past couple years as an expat, but I don't want to keep you here forever. But the point is I want you to understand that you don't have to be an expat necessarily or live abroad to really go through some of the lessons I've learned. It's all about your comfort zone and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. That is where true growth can happen for you. I know it has for me. Overall, what I want to express is that, guys, we have one life to live. So my question for you is, are you going to live it for yourself or for someone else? Are you going to let fear stand in the way of trying something new and scary and difficult? Like, for instance, I told you that I was a 13-year-old girl that had the dream to live abroad and study architecture and fall in love with an Italian man. And I could have been too scared to try it out and take that leap across the big ocean. But I knew in my heart that that's what I wanted since a young age, so I did it. And I fought to do it throughout the years. It wasn't always easy, like I told you. I made mistakes and I had my doubts and I cried sometimes. And sometimes I wondered if I should go home, but deep down in my heart I wanted to stay because I love the excitement and the new culture, and I love Venice and I love my fiance, and I do love the life that I've been building here for myself. So, you know, think about what dreams you had as a child. Are you living them? Or did you let someone stop you from living them? I think it's really important to make sure that we're living our own dreams and our own lives. And guys, I hope you got some value from the mistakes I made in the beginning of my expat life. I really enjoyed sharing this, even though I procrastinated, but I procrastinated because of fear. It's usually why we procrastinate. I was scared to get vulnerable with you and share with you these topics, and also sit here and talk to you for so long. That's why I changed spots and whatnot and try to keep it a little bit more interesting. But overall, hope you enjoyed, hope you got some value, and I will see you on the next What's Going On in Venice.